Hello! Hi, okay, this is a bit of a random video. There's a bunch of things I need to explain, so before you watch this, I would highly recommend checking out the FNAF 4 Night 7 video and those two Ambience Weekly Challenge videos, which I'll show on screen. If you haven't already, I would watch those before this for context. I feel like it might clarify a couple things. I just wanted to talk, really, hopefully in one take. So if there's a lot of pausing and stuff, I'm sorry. It's just that, like, I do live streaming, so I don't really have time to do a lot of video editing anymore, and, like, a video like this shouldn't need much editing, so if, if it's a bit, if my commentary is a bit bad, I'm sorry, I'm doing this in one take just for the sake of convenience. This is actually my third attempt. There's, just to go right back to basics, for anyone who doesn't know, hi, my name's Mr. Matt. This is my side YouTube channel. You're viewing this video on Mr. Matt's Hydrated Highlights. This is where I upload clips, and, highlights of my main live streams that I do on my main channel. I do live streams. Again, as I said, video editing, not something I really have much time for anymore. But this is also kind of my dumping ground for random videos that I don't know what to do with, because they don't really fit on the main channel, they don't really fit on the meme channel, Matt's to Miss, which is a thing. So, yeah, they just end up on Hydrated Highlights. This is just like the random channel where I can upload whatever, there's no strict schedule, there's no strict branding, it's just kind of generally a side channel of Mr. Matt. But yeah, and while I've been on hiatus, as I am always in January, while I've been, not doing any content, I've been getting really deep back into the FNAF zone. I'm really deep in FNAF again. I'm not sure why. I feel like the shock, disappointment, and horror, and everything from Security Breach kind of wore off after New Year's. And it's all been encouraged by Ambience and the Shrine of Ambience, and I'll talk more about that in a moment. But yeah, I've been really getting back into the FNAF zone, not just with the lore and the stories, but also with the gameplay. So, the Ambience Weekly Challenges are a thing which happen on the Shrine of Ambience, which is the Discord server created and owned by Ambience. His real name's Scott, but he's a YouTuber. He also has a YouTube channel called Ambience, go figure. And he does amazing videos. He is one of these, very rare FNAF pros, an expert in the gameplay who has analyzed, the game files and learned all kinds of techniques that, you'll have never heard of, that, the likes of Markiplier and Dorko even probably haven't even heard of in some cases. And he, for a year before I met him, he did these amazing guide videos. They're still going today. He's been pretty prolific with it, actually, making these guides to FNAF on all the nights, all the max modes, and it's thanks to True Player, Ethan, that I was introduced to him and his community and all of that, and this whole subsection of the FNAF fandom, which is not only like a FNAF expert, kind of like pro part of the fandom, but also just a generally very wholesome and much less toxic part of the FNAF fandom, which is really nice to see. So, the Ambience Weekly Challenge is like really creative challenges, really creative takes on FNAF games where, like, they introduce limitations, and each week you gotta complete a different night with said limitations. That's what those previous videos were. That's what you're seeing right now. The video clips that you're seeing in this video are failed attempts at one of the weekly challenges, which is to finish FNAF 420, FNAF 1, the max mode, 420 mode, with the office completely dark. So you have to hit 6 AM in that brief period between Freddy's jingle finishing and death. So yeah, and incredibly, in that night when I was attempting this weekly challenge, I ended up beating 420. I failed the challenge, but I beat 420 3 times in like an hour, which brought my total number of wins in the max mode of FNAF up to about 5 times ever, which is just completely insane. Like, people will say this is easy. It is absolutely not. But there is a reliable strategy, which you just need, a good bit of skill, and really just, like, the chances of getting screwed by RNG here are just, I mean, they're still there, but they're, like, so incredibly low. They're next to non-existent. A FNAF pro will probably correct me. I'm probably wrong in my statements about that, so I'm not gonna pretend I have any authority on the matter. But, like, this is, compared to other FNAF challenges, this is consistent. It's not easy, but it's consistent. So, I'm actually amazed at my own skill. I don't regard myself as a pro in any way. This is the only max mode in any FNAF game I've ever beaten. I haven't even come close with any of the others. But, this one was pretty fun. So anyways, I wanted to upload it because I was back in the FNAF zone and I was doing these weekly challenges and I thought, man, it's a shame I'm not streaming these because I feel like this would make some good, like, content, you know, some good, like, you know, videos, for the main channel. So I thought in the meantime, why not just record off camera, and if I do get it, I could upload it. And that's actually what I've done. I have uploaded my weekly challenges in the style of True Player, funnily enough, with, like, no commentary, just the game screen, none of my, like, kind of live stream setup, just because it looks better that way. And there are, you know, there is an audience for that type of video, even if, personally, I wouldn't enjoy watching, you know, I mean, look at what you're watching now. Imagine if I wasn't commentating, and you were literally just watching FNAF 1, just the strategy, like, over and over of this, like, cam flipping and door checking. It'd be so boring. I mean, it's like, you know, if for someone who's played this game for, like, 40 hours and, you know, has seen all of it before, it's just, it's not really engaging. Of course, you may disagree, but, like, I feel like this needed commentary as well to actually make it kind of watchable for people who've seen this game before, you know, which will be probably all of you, since this game is, like, 7 years old, and this is a fairly obscure YouTube channel. So, yeah, I mean, whatever. Personal preferences. So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about all of that, really, and I hope all of that makes sense to you. So, I'm back in the FNAF zone at a time when my YouTube channel is on hiatus, and, you know, Ambience and True Player have kind of pushed me into exploring, you know, the hardest challenges in the Five Nights at Freddy's series. So that's why this is, you know, happened. So why not, you know, actually record it, make a video of it, and show all of that off. And something I wanted to ask you guys was actually about formatting. Would you rather see, if I were to do more videos on this at any point, videos like this, where I record my commentary in post after the challenge, or maybe even record in the moment, although it definitely wouldn't be quite the same? Or would you rather see me with the face cam, the whole swirls background, the borders, the whole setup that I used for the FNAF 4 Night 7 video, so it felt a bit more like my streams? And again, what about the editing? I mean, this is pretty unedited. Do you like it? I feel like what would be better, which is something that, you know, I won't have to worry about until next January, is actually just doing something like this, like, actually in a stream, because that could quite easily be some kind of live stream. I mean, again, I keep deviating topics, but something that has also come to my attention at the time of recording this is that there is an unholy amount of demand for content on the original Five Nights at Freddy's games on my channel. And this surprises me because I feel like I've exhausted everything I can really do with these. There is actually a lot of stuff which you wouldn't have thought of, which is still new to me, you know, 7 years in, such as this thing called green running, which is basically a challenge to save as much power as possible in games where power is a game mechanic. And obviously, you know, there are, like, whole world records for this. There's a guy called Shooter who managed to complete this mode, FNAF 1 420, with, like, 25% power. I have no idea how he did it. It was completely insane, but, you know, very impressive. But, you know, regardless, I feel like outside of a few very obscure things like that, there isn't really much for me to do, especially with FNAF 1 to 4, because I've been revisiting all the spin-offs just by popular demand, you know, Sister Location, FNAF World, Pizza Sim, all of that is, you know, coming and going, and I've played UCN to death with mods and challenges and all kinds, and people still want more, but, like, it's all been said and done before. You won't get any new reactions out of me. This is a game franchise which I've been seeing constantly for years. Like, I've seen and done it all before. You know, there's really nothing... You know, when I'm playing it, you're not going to get any new reactions. My commentary is going to be pretty dull compared to other games where I'm experiencing new things. It's just kind of like there's nothing for me to say while playing them. And that to me is, you know, not really something I want to do. I mean, I enjoy the FNAF games. I will happily stream them. But, like, there's so many more important things in my schedule. You know, new games, new experiences to be had that, like, you know, I just don't see the point in playing this game when I've just seen it all before, you know? Even with FNAF 4, playing it for the first time, you know, my reactions weren't really anything special because I saw it on Markiplier's YouTube channel, like, 6 or 7 years ago, you know? Like, you know, it's not fresh because it's a game I know inside out. It's a game that I've seen and played to death. And although I do still enjoy playing it, it's more of like a private, you know, in my own time kind of thing than something I'd live stream because, again, like, I just don't see the point. unless it's something I haven't done before, say something like a green run, which, you know, I could do a stream on, maybe. But again, the amount of demand for it, it's kind of sad to see when there's such little demand for a lot of, well, you know, objectively speaking, better games, and games which are new and fresh that I haven't seen before. I feel like Baldi's Basics is an underrated gem. I feel like Zardy's Maze is finally getting some of the attention it deserves, and that's something I want to stream. A whole load of games in completely different genres, which, you know, I want to stream, such as Republic Commando or SCP Secret Laboratory are games which I should definitely, you know, I wish were a bit more respected. But, you know, there's nothing like FNAF, and I completely understand that. Just a note on what's going on screen, by the way, because I was just kind of talking about something else. So, the weekly challenge was to finish during the blackout. That last run ended as Freddy's Jingle was going in the power out. So that's why, you know, that's why that was a fail. But I still beat 420 mode the way I normally do, with, you know, hitting 6 AM during the power out. And now this weird little clip here was me experimenting with trying to save power, basically attempting a green run, because I was trying to work out if there was a way for me to check the door lights less, since, you know, like Bonnie and Chica, they're not going to immediately be back at the door after leaving. That just never happens. And, like, you know, the way the RNG works and, like, you know, the path works, like, I felt like there would be a way of me saving power here. And I was like, what if I just didn't check the right door light? Because in that entire run of 420 that I did just before, Chica never came to my door. I don't know if it was the one from before or the one that's coming up, but there was a run I recorded in this video of 420 mode, and Chica never once came to my door. So I was like, wait, do I just never need to check the door? But then I did this run, and she came to the door like 3 times in the first hour, and I was so confused, because I thought on 20 AI, the animatronics always moved the same place at the same time. So I tried just ignoring the door, and then obviously Chica got me, which is what I expected, but I was still very confused about it. Apparently, the movement opportunity dice roll, if you've watched Tech Rules video, you'll be familiar with the technicalities. It's very technical, but apparently the movement opportunity dice roll that the animatronics have every time, you know, they choose whether or not to move, you know, is actually between 0 and 21 instead of, you know, 0 and 20, which means that even on 20 there is actually some RNG, and it is possible for them to actually not move on an off chance. And also, Chica does this thing, which Bonnie doesn't for some reason, where she just teleports back to the start of her path, even if she's not reached the office yet. So I got extremely lucky, where she never even visited the office in that one night. And it's probably never going to happen to me again. But I have noticed that I think you can pretty much, if you're checking the cams as frequently as you know, pretty much have to for, you know, this mode, if you're checking the camera super frequently, you'll always see Chica before she reaches the door light, you know, on the camera with Freddy. So there's definitely a power save in there somewhere of, like, you know, not checking the, you know, right light until you see Chica leave, you know, the camera. You know, so you see like the East Hall camera go back to Freddy. Of course, there's a chance she'll have gone back, but you won't know unless you check. And obviously, you know, you gotta shut the door fast. You really don't get much time to react. It's like 2 seconds or something, 1 second. You know, I honestly, in these max modes, I get caught out by little things like Bonnie and Chica catching me too fast, rather than Freddy and Foxy. But with the optimal strategy and its, you know, variations, you know, you can pretty consistently win this 100% of the time, or like 99%. Like, these 2 times that I lost were because I wasn't really playing the strategy properly, and I was trying to experiment. Like, I deliberately let Foxy attack earlier because I wanted to see if it would save power at the start if I didn't check my cams, and just let Foxy attack once near the start of the night, since it would only drain 1% power. I don't think it is a power save. I was just kind of messing around, alright? And I died to Foxy in this run, spoiler alert, you'll see. But yeah, it was pretty funky. And I'm just going to say this now, I'm really surprised that my commentary isn't coming out the video. I thought I'd do a little commentary, and then part of the video would play with no commentary, and then I'd come back with commentary. But there's actually so much I have to say that I'm probably going to be able to commentate just continuously to the end of this video. And it's like 30 minutes long, so sit back, guys, because you're going to have to endure this voice for a bit. I'm really sorry. But yeah, you see here, the problem is that I'm checking the lights when Chica is still on the camera. She's obviously not going to be there yet. But it's when she disappears that, like, I could just check the light and, like, only then. Because, you know... Okay, that's weird. I was about to say that I'm pretty sure there's no way Chica could get there without me seeing her on the camera first, but then she just did exactly that, so I don't even know anymore. Honestly, I'm surprised at the amount of RNG in this mode. I thought it was like none, but that actually is just a tiny bit. But maybe I could practice like a low power kind of green run kind of thing, and just keep attempting until I get lucky with stuff like Chica, because, you know, it's only a very small bit of RNG. Like, I got pretty lucky before. I'm sure I could do it again. You know, FNAF Maximos always take like half a dozen attempts anyway. There's always trial and error. Even if in theory, you know, you could do without, in practice, you know, there isn't. And yeah, I deliberately let Foxy attack again. I can't exactly remember why. I don't know what was going through my mind at this point. You know, at the end of the day, guys, it is a horror game. I still get pretty stressed out playing FNAF 1 because it's pretty spooky, and, like, the lack of information with stuff like, having to look at Freddy, so I don't know how close Foxy is, you know, really freaks me out. So I often, you know, panic and kind of, you know, make sloppy, you know, decisions. But, again, this is just me experimenting, and yeah, jump scare warning. I didn't warn you the first time, but I thought it was pretty obvious that it was coming up. I mean, I am very familiar with this game. I don't know about you, but I'd assume that you watching this are probably also familiar enough with this game, you know, to know when the jump scares are coming. And yeah, I just can't believe Foxy came as immediately after I opened the door there. That was super unlucky. And I'm still really confused because, like, I was checking the cameras, like, continuously there. I don't see a point where I wasn't checking the cameras long enough for him to progress through all, like, 3 stages. So I'm still really confused about that. If someone else could maybe explain that to me, I think I'd really appreciate it, because I don't quite understand how he got me there. If maybe, his AI increases as the night progresses. I know that's a thing with Bonnie and Chica. I can't remember if it happens with Foxy. But if it's, like, the amount of time that you can go without checking on him, you know, before he progresses got, like, shorter at some point or something. It was weird. I don't really understand what happened there. Anyways, I know the transitions are awkward. The videos are just kind of spliced together, and the audio cuts out when I tab out to, you know, start and stop the video in OBS. But now we are on the final run, and this is really exciting because this is the best play I've ever committed, like, in FNAF 1. Like, this is the best, like, I've ever... See, I thought Chica was actually displayed on the camera. I should have just checked the light first. But again, you really don't get that much time with it. Yeah, so you've seen a FNAF 1 run of me ending, you know, as I normally do, with the power running out, Freddy's jingle going, not quite the weekly challenge. You've seen 2 failed runs where I experimented with saving power and got killed by Chica and Foxy, and now this is unintentionally my FNAF 1 420 mode green run. And I just want you to watch to the end, because I couldn't believe, like, what I was able to do. I know it's probably not that impressive, because, you know, a lot of people have done a lot better. But this is the 4th or 5th time I've ever beaten this mode, and I couldn't believe... Well, you'll see. I won't spoil it. But yeah, while I'm here, I think I just want to loop back to Ambience and Ethan. Can I call you Scott? I don't know. Ambience isn't... I'm not really, like, close with Ambience, so I wouldn't, you know, I don't think we're on first name terms. Except we are, because, like, my username is Matt, so everyone just calls me Matt. But yeah, Ambience, Scott, the man, the myth, the legend. This guy is so, talented and wise, and, like, it's really impressive how much, you know, wiser he is than me, considering that he's 2 years younger than me. Just goes to show how, you know, I had stunted development as a child. But, you know, all jokes aside, this guy's a really good leader, and I can see that with his community. And also, he must have a pretty good network, because even though at the time of recording, I'm only just beginning to get to know everybody, like meeting them in voice chats for the first time and whatnot, and, you know, bonding over FNAF or whatever. I got really lucky with Foxy here. Again, I don't know how he got me when I was checking the camera so frequently. Apparently this is too slow. I don't know. I guess this is too slow. I mean, when you go full speed, you can't last it. Like, my arm, my wrist really gets, like, exhausted and, like, sore from the endurance of flipping, like, really fast for a long time. So yeah, I deliberately went slow with this because I wanted to see how much I could test Foxy, but I don't know, like, I'm checking the cameras, like, literally every like, not even 2 seconds, like, less than 2 seconds. I think the demands of Foxy are quite ridiculous. But, whatever. I was just gonna say, the Shrine of Ambience is the only truly pure and positive part of the FNAF fandom I've ever seen. I've heard that there's been tons of drama on there before, but I have not borne witness to any of it. At the time of recording, I've been a member for about 3 or 4 months, and I've been very active in the last kind of 3 or 4 weeks. And, like, that place is just so positive, so wholesome, you know, so clean, really. And it's really refreshing to see, because I feel like I'm a bit alienated from the FNAF fandom these days. I feel like I don't know it, and I feel like, you know, it's inhabited by a lot of people in a different demographic to me who don't really see FNAF the same way I do. Although, I have been pleasantly surprised by the comment sections and Reddit forums of, you know, the Five Nights at Freddy's community. I'm talking specifically about Reddit, the Dorco, and, I guess the Markiplier comment sections. Like, it's been mostly very positive, very critical of the right things, very based. And there are still plenty of other parts in the FNAF community that I don't engage in. I'm sure r/FNAF theories is still a toxic hellhole. I'm sure that the FNAF Amino, if it still exists, is probably inhabited by, you know, people who unironically play Gacha Life or some shit like that. I'm sure that, you know, FNAF Twitter is just as toxic as everything on Twitter. But, like, the, you know, important parts of the FNAF fandom, which I'm actually a part of, like, I've been pleasantly surprised that everyone understands why Security Breach sucks, and even though there's a lot of cringe, Shrine of Ambience is the most based and just wholesome part of the FNAF community, and I'm really grateful that Ethan stumbled across my live stream on the 20 modes back in, you know, 2020, you know, and I'm really grateful that that has led from one thing to another to me meeting Ambience and collaborating with him and engaging with the community and learning all these new things about FNAF and enjoying FNAF in a different light, but also just making memories and, you know, learning things, you know, more generally that aren't necessarily FNAF related, meeting a lot of great people. I mean, I don't want to name names because then I'm going to leave people out, but, I mean, I guess I should, you know, users such as Rams, Swim Gaming, you know, Andrew, who goes by Toybon, Shooter, I'm sorry if I forgot people, Archer, Acro, you know, there's a lot of great fellas who are just, you know, just good people, and it's refreshing to see, because, you know, a good friendship group is something I have lacked for a multitude of reasons for a long time. I don't want to, I'm not trying to get pity points, alright, but I gotta say it as it is. You know, in my whole life growing up, I've never really had a proper friend group. I've had friend groups which I wasn't really a part of, and I was kind of this nobody that, you know, everyone was kind of on neutral terms with, and I was friends with everybody but really nobody because, you know, it was all watered down. It's a bit weird. And, you know, I was just a complete social outcast in high school, and online, I was either not part of the community, or I was the center and head of the community, and everyone had met through me, and I was the only thing actually tying things together. And I was young and naive and didn't know how to manage social relationships because I hadn't met Lucy yet, and, you know, my girlfriend Lucy is the wisest person I know. She's taught me so much about just interacting with human beings. It's kind of embarrassing how socially inept I was just like a year or two ago. But, you know, I was a kid. I mean, I was 18, 19, but, like, I'm 20 years old now. I'm an adult, and I've learned the lessons that I need to learn, and I'm doing great now. And that's the important thing. I've had a lot of help on the way, like 99% from her, but, you know, also from just good friends like Ethan. So shout out to all of you. I'm going to put links in the description to all these people I'm talking about. Just Lucy, Ethan, and Scott, because these three are some of the most, you know, based, inspirational, and just all-rounded human beings that I've met in a while. There are plenty of other great people, but I you know, if I start, I'll never stop, so I'm just going to limit it to those three. No offense to the people I've not included. But, you know, some of you have really, you know, improved me as a person and brought me all kinds of great experiences that have, you know, improved me, improved yourselves, and just been fun, and just, you know, made life worth living, because that's what it's all about at the end of the day. And yeah, specifically, let's just talk about Ethan for a minute. This guy made a bet with me. He absolutely trolled the shit out of me to beat Nightmare All Aggressive. Nightmare Aggressive Only, sorry. I don't know if he unironically thought I'd actually beat it in like 30 minutes, because I knew it would take me hours, or if he knew that I would suck ass at it and be an easy bet to win so he could see me play FNAF 4. He described it as a win-win, because he just loves seeing me play these max FNAF modes. even though they're kind of torturous and tedious for me. It's alright. It's fun to, you know, have a laugh and, you know, test my limits, because I really don't go in for this kind of thing, because I don't really enjoy it. But, you know, as I get better at this game, I'm actually able to enjoy it more. And sometimes you just need to push through that kind of, you know, rough patch of not enjoying it to get to the goodness, because that's exactly what happened with Five Nights at Freddy's 4. I lost a bet, he forced me through FNAF 4, and I actually ended up really, really enjoying it, because I finally got over my fear. It took hours of me tearing my headphones off and screaming like a little baby, and, you know, having him hold my hand digitally. But, like, I actually did it, and now I'm playing FNAF 4, like, frequently, and it's really fun, and I'm actually motivated to play through Night 8 and actually experience it for myself, rather than just watch it on YouTube, which is a really positive thing. And I've actually generally become really hardened to horror lately. I've noticed that, the Mr. Incredible Uncanny meme isn't even that scary to me anymore, which is crazy. But now, just hold that thought, because look at that. This is the first time I've ever beaten Five Nights at Freddy's 1, 420, the max mode, with power remaining. 0% green run, ladies and gentlemen. Every time I've beaten this before, I've run out of power. But this time, I actually beat it with 0% remaining. That is incredible. That is absolutely bonkers. I can't believe I actually managed that. And I'm kind of chuffed, honestly. I feel pretty proud of myself. I know this is a very small achievement in the grand scheme of things, but like for me personally, that I just can't believe that I actually did that. And the video is over. The video clip is over, so now you're just seeing a still frame and no audio, just my voice. I'm just gonna wrap things up. But yeah, Ethan, you're a great friend. Thanks as well for helping me manage the side channels. If you guys didn't know, Ethan is actually the one who created Hydrated Highlights and Matt's to Miss. None of this would exist without him. This is all thanks to True Player, so please go check him out. The link's in the description if you haven't heard already. He's basically the best FNAF player in the world. I'm not even capping. If he calls himself a god, I promise he's not arrogant, he's not egotistical, he's just saying it as it is, because truthfully, his achievements in this game are just insane. To be this skilled in any one thing is just incredible. And, you know, Ambience and that whole community are a large part of that too. There are a lot of talented people on the Shrine of Ambience, so definitely go join the Discord. Ambience, I'm also got a tag. You can check out his YouTube channel, he does great videos. And of course, Lucy, my girlfriend, who I did mention earlier, you know, she has a bunch of social media pages, so I'm just going to put her link tree in. You can find her Instagram, Tumblr, or whatever from there. She's also on Discord, you know, all of my stuff like the Hydration Nation, which all of these people are on and you can meet and talk to on there, will be on, like, you know, the main channels, like channel banner, links in the description or whatever. I don't know exactly how this is going to be formatted, but yeah, that is all of that. I hope you did enjoy this video, and I really wonder if this would be an interesting format to do in future, or if you would rather see videos like that FNAF 4 Night 7 one, where I actually pre-record with the commentary at the time of the gaming, rather than commentary recorded after I finish the run. With a similar setup to streams. I'm not sure which is better, and I don't even know if I am going to do more of those, because I'm going to announce this right here, just an exclusive preview for those of you who watch to the end of this. There is a stream coming up soon where I'm actually going to be live streaming the archives of Ambience Weekly Challenges. I'm just going to be going through and doing this kind of content, but like as an actual live stream with the regular formatting. So I might not even need to do videos like this ever again. I might just do it as a stream somewhere, somehow. But yeah, I've rambled long enough, so if you want to support me, like, share, subscribe, check out the main channel if you haven't already, and yeah, I'll see you fellas around. Have a good one. Thank you so much for watching, and stay hydrated.